Say what now?
So when we're talking about doing a translation, what does that mean? So let's see. Well, basically, when we're talking about transformations, we're saying like, if
rotating. I don't know.
yeah, right, like that's one of them. But let's just say I have a grid and I don't know, I have a triangle on here, okay? I can transform it by either moving the triangle, or I can even rotate the triangle so now it looks like that, or I can reflect the triangle. So there's different kinds of transformations depending on what you're looking for, right? But the very first one that we're going to be looking into is translations. Now, what does it mean to translate something?
What, like language?
Not language. We're talking about transformations of shapes. So it's not in that way when we're talking about language.
I'm guessing like where you flip it or something.
Not necessarily, right? So translation, it's not going to change the direction or anything of the shape. All it literally means is that, let's say we have a circle, right? And I just decide I wanted to move the circle this way, right? That's all it is. We're not changing the direction. We're not changing the size. All we're doing is moving the shape from one place to another, okay? That's what a translation means, okay? So if we're translating, what kind of operation do you think we're doing?
What, you kind of cut out. What'd you say?
There you go. Sorry, guys. When we're translating, what kind of operation are we doing?
I don't know.
So let's start off by giving us a couple points. Okay, so let's just say we have points 5 and 2. Then let's say we have 5 and 8, 9 and 8, 8 and 8, and then 8 and, actually, I believe that's 8 and 6. And then 8 and 2. Okay. So let's say those are our points, right? And we can even name our points and say, this is point A. It's going to be B, C, D, E. Okay. And so before we make a transformation, we're going to call this our pre-image. Okay, so our pre-image is whatever the shape is before our transformation. Okay. And now let's say I wanted to translate 12 to the left and 5 down. Okay. So as you can see, if I'm translating to the left, that means that I'm subtracting from X. And if I'm translating down, that means I'm subtracting from Y. Okay. So what we're going to do is just say, okay, 5 minus 12. So I'm going to take my X, I'm going to subtract it by 12. 9 minus 12, 8 minus 12, 8 minus 12. Okay. So all I'm doing is just basically subtracting 5 minus 12. And what would that give us?
All right, say that again.
So 5 minus 12, what would that give
7.
us? A what?
7.
Negative.
7.
Negative.
Negative 7.
Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to subtract each of them. So 5 minus 12, again, negative 7. 9 minus 12, that gives us negative 3. 8 minus 12 is negative 4. And again, 8 minus 12 is also negative 4. Okay. So
All right.
the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our y's now. Okay. We're going to subtract 2 minus, we're going to do 2 minus 5, 8 minus 5, 8 minus 5, 6 minus 5, and 2 minus 5. Okay. So 2 minus 5, that should give us negative 3. 8 minus 5, that should be 3. And then this should actually be a 5. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is 5. That means 5 minus 5 would give us 0. And then 2 minus 5, which is negative 3. Okay. So what we just did here is that we subtracted from each point, and now we have the points that would give us our transformed shape. Okay. And so creating a little chart like this one would help us keep track of all the points that we have there. Okay. All right. So are we good? We good with this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So all right, so let's see how that looks like, okay? We're going to start off by graphing our original points or our pre-image, okay? So the first one was 5 and 2. Next we had 5 and 8. We have 9 and 8. And we have 8 and 5. And then we have 8 and 2. Okay. So the shape ends up looking something like this. Okay. And you could label those points, say this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, and this is E. Okay. So what we did with our graph is that we translated it, and we translated 12 to the right. To the left, and then we translated 5 down. So with our new points, how does that look like? I'm going to do it in a different color. So -7 and -3. It's our first point right there, -7, -3. Then we had -7 and +3. We have -3 and 3. -4 and 0. And -4 and -3. And we're going to label all of our points. So A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. So again, let's think about what we just did here, okay? Did the direction of the shape change at all?
Say it again.
Did the direction of the shape change at all?
No.
It didn't, right?
No.
It stayed exactly the same. It didn't flip around, it didn't rotate, it didn't turn around. All we did was just literally moved it from point A to point B, okay? That's all we did. So that's what it means when we're talking about translation, okay? A translation, not like the language, right? We're not translating a language, we're literally just moving something from one place to the other. Okay. All right, so last thing I wanted to do was just I just want to make sure that we're good. So I assigned some homework on Delta Math. Okay, it should be pretty simple, but I just want to make sure that we are good with how we're doing this. Okay, so let's start off with, it says that the image of a point is 3 and 7, and we're going to translate to the right 5 units and up 5 units. Oh, sorry, up 1 unit. So what does that mean? If we're translating to the right 5, 5, what does that mean? So again, let's say we have a graph, right? So this is our point. If we're translating to the right, that means that we're moving this point 5 times to the right, okay? So what does that mean? What are we doing to the point? Well, more specifically, what are we doing to the 3? Anyone? Have an idea? So, well, if we're moving to the right, that means that we're adding, and we're adding 5 to the 3, okay? Now, if we're moving up 1, we're going to be adding 1 to our 7. So 3 plus 5, 8, and then 7 plus 1, also 8. So then our new point moves like somewhere up here, right? But all you're worried about is just making sure that you put 8 and 8. So see if you notice, we're adding 5 to the X and we're adding 1 to the Y. So what about this one? We're translating 2 units to the left and we're going up by 4 units. So what are we going to do to our X?
-2.
We're going to subtract 2. And then to our Y, we are going to do what? What are we going to do to Y?
Add 4.
Right. Since we're going up, that means we're going to add. Since we're going to the left, we're going to subtract. So here, 6 minus 2, that's 4. And 4 plus 4 is 8. So that should be the answer, is 4 and 8. Okay. Let's just see some of these other ones. Just want to make sure that we're all good with this. Okay. So what this tells us is that we're going to translate 3 units to the left and 1 unit down. Okay. So what you guys need to do is that you need to take this point that is at the origin, so at 0, 0, we're going to move to the left 3 times, and then we're going to move 1 down. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this arrow, and you're going to move it to every one of the points on your shape. So as you can see, it graphs it for you automatically. And all we really did was just move each point 3 units to the left and 1 unit down. So 1, 2, 3, and 1. This one, 1, 2, 3, and 1. 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 Okay. So all you have to do is make sure that you put all the arrows where they belong, and then the answer, or you should just submit it to get the credit for it. That makes sense? Okay, and so with this one, all we're doing is just moving all the points where it tells us. So 5 units to the left and 1 unit down. So we're going to move this point. We're going to say we're going to move it to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 unit down. So our point should go right there. All right. So as you can see, once you plot all the points, then you should automatically get the shape that you need. Okay, so we moved every point 5 units to the left and 1 unit down. And again, that gives us our answer. Okay. All right.